Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today I'm going over President Trump's recent job approval polls as well as the one particular poll in particular going over how the President Trump's approval numbers have dropped as 2021 has kicked off. Obviously, I wanted to do a video going over the polls because of everything that's happened in the last few days regarding the Capitol Hill riots and President Trump's kind of handling of the whole situation. I mean, I could give my opinion on it, but that's not really what I'm going to do or what I like to do too much on the channel. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go over the polls that we've seen. We've seen President Trump's approval rating taking a hit ever since 2021 took off and everything. So we're seeing a drop of President Trump's polls. The aggregate of polls now has Trump at 41.6 to 56% approved and disapproved. This is the lowest statistical numbers in a long time we've seen. President Trump, he's not at the lowest I've ever seen. The lowest we've ever seen was about 37%. About 37% was the lowest we've ever seen of President Trump in the aggregate. However, President Trump's numbers are falling straight down, going straight downward, 51.6 to 56. And I just thought it was interesting to point this out and to show kind of what's going on here. So now I want to show you one poll in particular. This is a Reuters core political data poll. I wanted to show you guys this one because I thought this was interesting. It's not overly biased like, say, Quinnipiac or one of the other ones are. But I thought it would be interesting to show you this poll. See, this here says the poll has a credibility interval of plus or minus the following percentage points. So it actually lists out what that is. So the right direction, wrong track for the country. For all adults, 20% of the country thinks we're on the right track. 65% thinks we're on the wrong track. Very notable. An overwhelming majority of the country following all of these riots and such that have gone on. Like since the Capitol whole situation there, a majority of people in the country, by a lot, think we're on the wrong track, and it's not even close. So that's something very interesting and important to notice and take a look at. Most important problem facing America right now is 19% of all adults are saying the economy generally, unemployment, lack of jobs, war, foreign conflicts, immigration, stuff like that. Healthcare and the economy are tied for 19%. Other is also at 17%. I would have to imagine that they probably put the riot and stuff like that under other. Probably domestic security is one of the bigger issues that is under other, most likely. And this is a chart of all the problems facing America by the average, by the aggregate, similar to how Real Clear Politics does it. We can see the economy and healthcare are generally riding neck and neck or so. However, unemployment, immigration, terrorism, they are all up here as well. Joe Biden, they actually have a Joe Biden job approval as president-elect. And so far, they've given him some pretty popular numbers with 55% approving, more or less somewhat strongly approving, and 37% disapprove. The thing is about Joe Biden is it's hard to really like him or not like him because he hasn't really done anything yet as president-elect. So if you want to be critical of him, there's not really too much to be critical of Joe Biden for, considering he hasn't really done anything yet. That's why I think personally he's getting these high favorable numbers, is because there's nothing really he's done or he hasn't done that you can say, oh, that's a red flag, or he did this wrong. There really hasn't been much he can do wrong. So Biden's holding high at that. Donald Trump's approval rating, however, a different story. In this poll, a total of 38% of all adults approve of President Trump. 57% disapprove of him. Registered voters has it at 40% to 58%. Registered for Biden had 57-38, so a complete flip. And we're seeing, as usual, most Democrats do not like President Trump's job approval. Most Republicans do like President Trump's job approval. However, President Trump getting 77-22, that's still a big percentage, but that's nowhere close to what it was even a few months ago. President Trump was in the 80s and even 90s at times with the Republicans, and now he's down to 77. The infighting in Georgia certainly has played a factor in that as well. Here's a chart of Donald Trump's weekly approval done by these polls. As you can see, President Trump, despite all the craziness of his presidency, has remained relatively consistent with approve, disapprove. The only issue is he's consistently stayed disapproved, which isn't good for him, but it's been relatively consistent. We are seeing a little bit of a dip now, but not too much. But it's still very still disapproved of. President Trump's issue approval overall. President Trump's still polling very strong among the economy and jobs. That has been President Trump's core support among issues and has been since the beginning. President Trump still approved among the economy and jobs. For coronavirus and COVID-19, this played a factor in the election, I bet. President Trump disapproved of 38 to 57%, which is not good. And this is a very recent one, the transition process from the Trump admin to the Biden admin. How has Trump handled that? Only 29% of people approve of that to 62% disapprove of that. Of the pollster, what was the political identity? Which political party do you identify with? It was 35% Democrat, 29% Republican by party ID. Party ID with lean is 43-37 with 13% independent. So a 7-point or so, or 6-point or so Democratic skewed poll. But nonetheless, even though it is a Democratic skewed poll, I still think it's some very telling information, especially the data given among Republican voters as well. So I just wanted to show you this poll. I thought it was pretty interesting to show how President Trump's approval has been impacted in 2021 and all the issues going on. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for future content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.